Hey everyone, I have Beth here. She is one of our mastermind clients, and today I'm going to help her with recruiting. So, Beth, tell me if you, or tell everyone, I guess, what you feel like your biggest challenge with recruiting is. Give us some context.
Just what to say, what to do. I have been trying to do recruiting, of course, since I started this business. I did have luck in the beginning at recruiting a couple of people. I was able to recruit my mom right away, and she's the only affiliate under me that actually does anything. So, I've recruited other people that I've either met along the way, or a friend, and they don't seem to be doing much. I still try to reach out to them and see what I can do to help them, see if they have any questions, but right now just isn't the right time for them. So I have been working on trying to get leads and contacting leads, but I'm not really sure on what to say, how to do that to come off the best, in
Yeah,
order to convert them over to leads, or at least get them interested enough to want more information.
sure. So, can you tell me a little bit more about these leads?
I basically went to a website that you can get home-based business leads, and contacted them. What I do, back when I first started doing this several months ago, I would just text them and then I would call them, and a few people would answer. And I try to kind of get to know them a little bit, and then they'd want to know, okay, well, what is it that your business is? But then I'd start talking about it, and they're like, nope, not interested.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So I have since switched it up a little bit because my company has come out with a video from the founder that goes over the business in a lot more detail. So I have begun texting and emailing them that video and see how that goes. But again, I'm not hearing much. And then when I follow up with a phone call, sometimes I don't ever get an answer.
Sure. Sure. But you have a lot of customers, right?
I do have a
So,
lot of
can you
customers.
just, for context, I mean, I already know the answer, but how many new customers are you gaining each month?
I usually at least always get 4 to 8, and last couple of months I've gotten 16. It
Yeah,
just it right now, depending on life and how much I'm able to put into this business, some months I'm able to get 16 to 20 customers. Other months it's less because things come up.
okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, so thank you for sharing all that context. I'm sure that if you're watching, you can relate to some of these challenges. I have a weird question for you. What does recruiting mean to you?
My goal with recruiting, I want to duplicate myself because my heart is in the helping people. When I started this business, it was so I could help people. I never dreamed I'd be able to help more people than I could in my regular 9 to 5 as an occupational
Mhm.
therapist. But with this business, I have been able to. So my heart is into helping as many people as I can. That is my why for wanting to recruit, because I want to be able to teach them what I know so that they can then go out and help as many people as they can, build teams of them for themselves. Um, if it's someone that's needing financial independence, I want them to be successful. I want to help them in any way I can to be
Sure.
successful and succeed in their business.
I love that. I love that. I just love your heart so much. I'm also going to say, when we're actually doing the recruiting, we probably need, like, we want to keep that, but also step it back a bit. So when it comes to recruiting, what we're going to look for is we're going to try to get people their first customer.
Right.
So, like, for your mindset, and maybe you're already here and you already get this. So when recruiting, the definition of recruiting is to enlist someone into a cause. when I look at recruiting, our most motivated, highest performing people always want to give people what they do. In recruiting and network marketing, it's like a bunch of people that do a little bit, and then like a very, very small percentage. It's like, I was reading in a book just yesterday or the day before that 2% of distributors and recruit 10 or more people, just 2%. And so it's helpful to have a healthy idea of what does success look like. So when you're inviting people to take a look at the business opportunity, you're able to hold a little bit of distance from what that looks like. Now, what do you track? So what I'm understanding is you're focusing on these home-based business leads, but what about all these customers? What about upgrading the customers?
Yeah, and with my coaching, I have enlisted from the sales what we learned in that sales.
Mhm.
I've been using my my template or whatever
Yep.
to do that, but no one's really interested in.
Yeah,
And
tell me what you're saying with your customers. I have a couple other ideas too.
well, I don't have that template right in front of me, and I always keep it in front of me. I'm basically just, and if you are looking for a little extra money on the side and you'd like to learn more about how you can create a little more income coming in, I would love to show you more about the business side. And just usually they aren't, no, I've got too much on my plate right now. I'm not interested in that. I'll just
Okay.
buy from you.
Okay. So I want to adjust that verbiage just a little bit. I also have an alternate bit of verbiage that I just learned that might be helpful for customer upgrades.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I found is the simpler the better, right? So if we look at this idea of recruiting, we have all sorts of different roles in your business. We have people that could just recommend. We have people that could host. They could, right? They could do a little bit here and there. And so I think we want to simplify your question down to, I don't want to make any assumptions. Do you want to know how to earn free product or how the money even works? Not do you want to do this? Like, or something like, most people out of curiosity just want to know at least how it works to earn money or how to earn free product. How does that sound to you, Beth?
Much better.
And keep it really simple, because whenever we start with, do you want to do the business? Right? It's tricky. And I think we're also in a little bit, no, understatement. Everyone is in a lot of transition right now.
Yes.
With certainty issues. And so what I really want to encourage you around is all we want to do is help them to get a win or a dollar in their pocket, right? Taking it one step at a time. And so by the first goal being, I want to show you how it works. I don't want you to make a decision yet. Would that be helpful? Would you be open to that? Because remember, they just bought product. So guess what's highly motivating to them?
Using the product, yeah.
Product, right?
Uh-huh.
And so by using language like, just most people want to know just out of curiosity, do you want to know how you can earn free product or income that will pay for your products? Remember, what's motivating them right now?
The product.
So income to pay for your products. Most people want to know how that works. Would that be helpful? How does that feel, Beth?
That sounds and feels so much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a super mean coach right now. You know what I'm going to do?
I have a feeling.
Okay, I'm going to type it out, and I will really want to make sure it sounds like you.
Okay.
Because we'll adjust the language if it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it just so you can hear how it sounds. You read it. We'll just kind of go back and forth and I'll make adjustments if it doesn't sound like the way you speak. Because this is Tasha speak, not Beth speak. And so usually everything requires a little bit of an adjustment, which you know since you've been through our sales mastermind. Which it's pretty cool to see your results from that one.
Yeah,
I'm super proud of you. Like
thank
I
you.
just super happy to hear about your success. So here we go. Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you?
Okay.
How does
So,
that feel receiving that as if you were a customer?
yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, great. So give it a shot.
Okay. Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or even how to earn money that will pay for their products. Would you be interested in learning more?
Sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to do it now so you can hear it again, just for the tones, right? Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Would that be the same for you?
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll go again and we'll do one more. Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you?
Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, that sounds great. Do it just like that one more time.
Okay. Most people want to know, even just out of curiosity, how to get free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, sounds great. How does that feel?
Feels great.
Okay, awesome. So I think if you make that adjustment and with the like what you just went through was not practice makes perfect, but like actually perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And so from a confidence perspective, super, super helpful. All we're trying to do is say, I'd like to know how it works. Right? Then you can go into a separate conversation. And since you're so good with the sales conversation, the recruiting conversation is identical. Right? It's
Yeah.
let's go over how that would even help you, how would getting free product. I mean, most people hit the free product mile, or not free product, but paying for their product milestone first, right? Because it's lowest in dollars, right? How would that impact your overall quality of life? Then you can say, okay, here's how it works. And I think that, and we won't go into this here, but how it works, having a couple different options, especially today, is super helpful. So the doing what I'm doing is a tricky recruiting play, right?
Okay.
Because you're at a different place in development. They're just starting. So I think what's really helpful is to just say, here's how I started. And that's probably what we'll do. And it's pretty easy. Did you have to work very hard to get your first 1, 2, or 3 customers?
No, because my testimony, what the products did for me, had people coming to me
Okay.
wanting to know more.
Okay, great. So what you did is you shared how the products worked, or what people can do is share their journey. Like, I'm just started this stuff and I'm really curious to see what happens. Would you like to join me? And they can either do a documentation at first, or they could do, right, they could share if they already have an experience, they can do the same. Because we're really just focusing not on the work part, but on the how can we get them a little bit of success, a quick win.
Right.
Now, once they get their first 5, 7, 10, then we can start to teach them some stuff and equip them a little bit better. But that way you're spending time with people who are doing things. But like this idea of doing the business feels very big, doesn't it?
Yes, and overwhelming.
Overwhelming. And like it's even a little bit overwhelming for you. You mentioned that your work fluctuates.
Right.
Right. And you don't even have any business builders you're mentoring right now. So I
Right.
have to imagine that like some of that is right. Like you're like the product, my story, but then the business is like, it's hard and it's overwhelming and right. Like, I don't think we can shift that, but it doesn't have to be so hard because how people start is really usually very easy. Now, where you're at now, the income levels that you're now is different, but you worked your muscles up to that, right? So if you kind of think about when you go to exercise, you've been exercising a year, you're not going to start off running a marathon. And so we start with one step at a time, and that's how you're going to help your people anyway. Let me see if I can find this like customer upgrade thing in this book. I kind of know it, but probably not well enough to say the words. Customer upgrades. This is a book by Fraser Brooks. It's called I Double Dare You.
Yeah, I have them.
You have that. So I just read this where it talks about customer upgrade. Dang it. Here it is. So you do check-ins with your customers, right?
Yes.
So here's the strategy. And this is on page 118, since you said you had it. So I'm not going to type it out.
Great.
The reason, guys, if you guys are watching, is like I do my own professional development too. And I feel a little bit goofy, like literally reading from someone else's book because I'm coaching you. But I mean, I think realistically, you as a leader, you're going to end up doing the same. So you can take down these notes if it's helpful for everyone. But here we go. It's just is like, hey, Mary, I noticed that you've been using this product for 90 days now. Can I ask a really quick question? They say yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how open would you be to sharing your product experience with other people?
Okay.
Okay. Anything under a 5, you'd say, hey, that's awesome. Thanks so much for letting me know. I appreciate it. If they say 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, then you say, that's really cool. And his words are, just curious, would you be open to checking out how you can monetize your product experience or potentially get your products paid for by the company? I don't know if it's okay to say, I kind of like the words I used, but a little bit like the monetize your product experience.
Yeah, I like your words better.
But like basically you're combining this concept with, hey, that's really cool. Most people, we could use that same. The reason I recommend the same line is because it's a tool that you know how to use. So you can take this concept. So somebody says, I'm a 7, and say, that's really cool. And we can pull up these same words because you already are confident with them. That's really cool. Most people want to, just out of curiosity, how to get a free product or earn money that will pay for their products. Is that the same for you? Same sentence. We already know you'll nail it. It's super close to what Fraser Brooks is saying, but we already know this is in your own words. Right. If you want to take what straight out of what he's saying, but anytime that I write words for someone, I mean, I consider it to be ghostwriting. So we use an outline, we make sure that it's comfortable and confident for them. So whatever works for you. But it blew my mind. That simple, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend your experience with the products? And then there's a couple different ways you can go from there, right? You can explain, well, if you just want to post about your experience and connect me, that's a great start, right? If you want to host, right, some sort of event where we gather a handful of the people you want to share this with, right? That's another option. Or if you want, we can talk about how to, generate some extra income for your family, with a side business, right? Everyone starts as a side business because they have their primary stream of income. Even if they're like a stay-at-home mom, that's still like their business is on the side of that, whatever their actual thing is that they're doing. Whereas maybe right now it could be, and I don't know if it is it your full-time business or is it part-time?
Depends, some weeks more full-time than others. I still work at a hospital, but they just call me whenever they need me.
Gotcha.
So 2 to 3 days a week is usually my at the hospital.
Okay. So would you consider it your network marketing business side or primary?
Probably my primary, because my 2 to 3 days lately, the 2 days has been Saturday and Sunday.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I've been pretty much doing a lot of networking and stuff throughout the week,
Oh, cool. Good for you.
on top of working at the hospital on the weekend.
Good for you. So I think that because you're in your business full-ish time, right? When we start to go with do what I do,
Right.
right? It becomes really, really big. But what we're trying to do is just get them to whatever is the first, it's the next best step, the first step, not the ending step.
Right.
And so I think that could be really, really helpful for you. And what I would say, what success looks like right now.
And I started out like this before I got married. I was single when I started this business, so I was working a full-time job and just doing in my free time.
Yeah. Okay. So you get it, right? And
Yes.
I think when you tell the story, it's really important to tell the story in a terms of before, not like only your current,
Right.
because
Yeah.
they have to see themselves in the before in order to see themselves in the after. And so remember, like when you share this, you can say, when I started, I was working full time and I maybe did, like I started by just telling people my experience.
Right.
Right. And then I took it from there, like making it really, really simple. I think kind of the last piece that I'd love to go over with you here is just what does success look like? My recommendation is to just get super process driven on your sales conversations and in your um, customer outreach, right? And really work on that upgrade strategy. And the
Okay.
reason the upgrade strategy is so helpful is rule number one, and this is why a little bit of maybe why you're getting stuck with here, I'll take this down for a sec. The reason you're getting stuck with the home-based business leads, because the number one step in like believing that this could be a good business is product consumption.
Right. Yeah.
And believing in the product. So in 2021, it's a little bit trickier to pitch this like mind-blowing business model that you've never heard of.
Right.
Right? Worked really well probably in 1980s and 90s, right? It's like, what is this thing? It's so mainstream now. And so product conviction, I think, is more important than ever.
Okay.
Because you want people to like have that internal desire to be like, this is good. It doesn't have to be life altering, like maybe your story, but it's got to be like, this is good. And it's worth me putting in effort to get this into more homes. Even if the effort is a post or connecting people with you or whatever. I want to also just remind you that an affiliate that refers people up through to you, right, that person is still recruited. So I think the reason I asked about that question in the very, very beginning was what does recruiting mean to you? And I think sometimes people think recruiting is only the serious business builder, but there's all sorts of different, like your mom, right?
Right.
And some people you enlist into a cause for a minute and some people not. When I was young, my best friend and I, we put in our like life to-do list, like join the PTA. Like we're high school seniors. We're like, the PTA is awesome. We're going to do that. And my younger daughter, she's been in an online school. And we just moved her to public school last week. And now I'm like, oh my God, the PTA, run. Because in my mind right now, like there's no space for that. But if there was a time where I was like super motivated by that, and I know that there will come a time again, right, that people ebb and flow quite a bit. And so I think it's super helpful to revisit, even when you're if you've asked someone before to say something like, hey, I know I asked you this before. I just want to make sure you know exactly how to earn free product or income to pay for your products if that's something that's helpful for you. And so we can consistently are, right? Most people have to hear it a few times before they're like, you know what, actually, yeah. But using that wording, I think, is good because it's not high pressure, right? So we want to look at what does success look like. So I want you to set a goal for how many times you're in a week, I guess, or in a day, whatever makes sense to you. How many times you can deliver this line? Line is not the right word, but hopefully you know what I mean.
Okay.
What would feel good to you?
I would say probably 10 times in a week.
So 10 times in a week should spit you out 1 or 2 people that say yes.
Okay.
This particular, that's what we see. It's like 1 in 3, 1 in 4. I will just like do a disclaimer, even though this isn't like a popular thing to say. I will asterisk. We don't know what any of the math does during like a historic world situation. And it's weird that I feel like I have to say that every time. But all of our estimates and stuff are kind of based from a different time, you know? So
Right.
I don't know how market conditions impact your yes rates. If it were before, I would say you probably get at least 3 or 4 people to say, yeah, I'd like to at least know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it would look like right now, but this is a pretty simple ask. Like, do you just want to know how it works? Not, do you want to do this?
Okay.
And so we take them through the process, sort of like now, one of the reasons that you have been so successful with your sales, I think, is that you no longer say, hey, want to buy this. You say, hey, do you want to know how this works? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I want to at least know how it works. I don't want to be out in the dark. Like this phrase, do you want to know how it works? I think is super powerful because people don't want to be uninformed. So when we say, do you want to know how it works? They're like, yeah, I at least want to know. I mean, I'm not going to let you push me into anything, but I want to know. I don't want to not know, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does all that feel, Beth?
That feels great.
Cool.
That's, yeah, huge clarity, and I'm on a path to figuring out just exactly what I need to do with my next conversation. So thank you.
You're welcome. What do you say would be your biggest takeaways from our call today?
Definitely the talking about you just want to know and the wording and everything. I love what you had typed in up there.
Cool.
And then the setting the goal. That's going to be huge for me to strive for that each week.
Cool. And if you're off 2 or 3, I don't know if you're in the next mastermind or not.
I am.
You are.
I'm
Okay,
actually,
so
I'm in all of them.
you're in all of them. Okay, cool. So that one starts, I mean, this will air later, but
Right.
You can go ahead and ask that question, even though we're talking about productivity in the mastermind. I mean, ultimately, this is productivity, right? Because what you don't, right? Productivity is just input and output. So we want your inputs to create something. And so if you get stuck on these ratios, let me know. But you can probably see, and you'll be able to watch this back, but those little shifts can help with production. So
the next mastermind, I may not be on it live every week because I do have a networking group that I've started going to. So I may watch the replays and then just comment questions and stuff in the Facebook group.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I trust you to watch the replays. You're super motivated and really smart, and it's really an honor to be able to work with you and see you really thrive. So thank you for.
Thank you. I'm happy that Karen and I connected and she told me about all of this because I'd been looking at doing trainings that were so much money, and it's like, okay, and is that even gonna, am I even gonna get anything out of them?
Yeah.
But with these have been amazing.
That's
So
so
thank
great.
you.
So glad to hear. All right. So look forward to hearing how things go. For those of you that are watching and or listening, give Beth a shout out if you can. Give her some encouragement and thanks. And I hope this helps everyone that's able to watch. All right.
Thank you.